and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, someday. All right, and I'm now going to turn the meeting over to our fearless leader, Jim Dalzo.
Thank you, Jana. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here on this wonderfully sunny Saturday morning. We're going to keep the proceedings as sunny as it is outside, I promise. So you're in the right place at the right time. You really are. Okay, so we've got some announcements, but before we do that, I just want to do a little fun, pass around the mic and hear from our folks on Zoom as well. Who was your favorite Michigan governor before Gretchen Whitmer? Somebody put up a hand and we'll stick a microphone in your face. Please use a microphone, and if you don't want them to hear you, hold it this far away. If you want them to hear you, hold it right up here.
My favorite governor is John Swainson, who appointed my first cousin as the very first chair of the Michigan Women's Commission.
Wow.
And I even have him on the list, Michael.
All right.
I have him on the list.
Okay, we've got Karen here now with an idea.
I would say Blanchard, only because it was my first time as a preteen that I did campaigning door to door, and I did his walking tour with him.
Wow, wow. John?
My favorite governor was Soapy Williams.
Close.
Yeah, my favorite governor was Soapy Williams, and that was because my father-in-law worked on his campaign.
All right, whatever it takes. Who's got another one here in the room here?
I hate to go to the other party, but
We can't hear you. Just wait a minute, go ahead.
I hate to go to the other party, but Bill Milliken, because back in that era, environmentalism was a bipartisan issue that we could work across the aisle on.
He's on the list, and he's got 4 votes now.
Great. Would somebody in Zoom land like to say something out there? We got somebody wants to say something?
Bill Milligan.
Bill Milliken, that's from Reverend Steve. Okay. Who else in Zoom wants to say something?
Bill Milliken.
All right. All right, really, that's right. One more from the Zoom, please. Come on. I know you can do it. Mary.
One of you guys had thought Blanchard was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
You need to talk into the microphone.
Mary, if you said other people thought he was okay, what do you think?
I kind of, when I moved here, Engler was coming into power.
Ooh.
So what I had learned to like Governor Milliken because I watched Engler dismantle all of Governor Engler's work. I mean, all of Bill Milliken's work.
Okay.
Governor Engler dismantled Milliken's work.
Yeah. Okay, great. One more, and that's from me, Bill Milliken. I loved his bipartisan approach, and as Mitchell said, very, very, very pro-environment, which was great.
So we got 7 for Milliken, 3 for Blanchard, and 1 for Swainson.
Wow, Milliken wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Colin, you got something to say?
I just wanted to say Milliken.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's 8 then.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to clamp down on the fun now and get down to business. Ready? No more fun. All right. We want to thank our food and setup people. Thanks a lot to Pete for setting up the chairs and getting the whole facility ready for today. And thanks to our Zoom crew for coming in yesterday and figuring out all the Zoomy stuff. And that's such a great thing that we do with that. They're wonderful help for that. And we'd like to thank Virginia, Jana, Stuart, Karen, and I think I'm missing one more, but you know who you are, who brought the food today. So thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it. Okay, some announcements now. This office will be open and staffed full-time. That's 10 till 4? 10 till 4, starting the Tuesday after Memorial Day. That's May 28th. We've got a great group of office staff. They're all trained up. They're all ready to go, and we'll be here Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, noon to 4, I think. Is that right? Yeah, we think so. Yes. Okay, great. Cool. Another really, really great piece of good news, and I got to give this to you in a certain way. A couple weeks ago, we had this meeting here, and I was like, oh, God, nobody's going to come to this meeting. That's just, and 40 people showed up saying they wanted to canvass. We couldn't believe it. We were so, so happy to see that. So that, to me, shows what's really going on beside all the pundits and the cable and the this and the that and the New York Times and that. People all over the country, including right here in Benzie County, are very fired up about this election, and we intend to win. We're going to outwork those guys, even as their party collapses around them. We have a real chance here to build a great big change into our electoral system all across the country, starting here in Benzie County. And if we work hard like we did last time and the time before that and the time before that, we're going to kick their butts. We're just gonna. So stay with us and help out. Okay? You know, I was a cheerleader in high school. I was. It's true. I went to an all-boys high school. You want to hear some of my cheers? No. Okay. So what we want to tell you about candidates really here in town is that we've got a record number of candidates running for county and township offices. I won't go through the list, but it's about 20 people, and it's unprecedented in our years working on this party to see this. It's another sign of what I'm saying. People are fired up. They're tired of what they see, and they're getting out, and they're getting involved, and they're working to change it. So that's really wonderful news. So we will have much more information about our candidates. I'll just say we've got candidates in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th county commission districts, okay? And we've got close to full slates in Crystal Lake Township and Benzonia Township. When I say close to full slates, there's 5 positions in each of those townships, and we've got 4 covered in each of them. And we in Inland, we have 5, and it's a unity slate, and it's a reform slate. That township has been taken over by some very unfortunately MAGA-ized people, and so they're out to take that away from them. And we're going to work with them as well, even though they're not all Democrats. Okay? So just so you know, we've got a real opportunity here. This says to you, get involved if you aren't already. And if you're already involved, be as involved as you can. You know, spend time with your grandkids, spend time going to see friends, spend time going on vacations. But when you're not doing that, please be with us. We need your help. If we work hard, we can really build something important. Okay? And along those same lines with the candidates, there will be a candidate corral on Saturday, June 15th, starting at 4 o'clock at the Tap Room over in Frankfurt. The Tap Room is that brewery right at the edge of town, not downtown, it's Storm Cloud. It's out on the edge of town. We did something there a couple of years ago. Great place for this. We're going to have the place to ourselves. They're not even open yet. They're letting us in early. And that will be on Saturday, the 15th of June. We're inviting all of our candidates to be there. You'll get to meet them. You'll get to make donations to them. You'll get to figure out how you can have a house party for them. You'll get to figure out how you can help them canvass or call or make some noise and win, okay? So we look forward to seeing you there. This is very, very, very important, really as important as anything else. Republicans figured that out a long time ago. We're just figuring it out, and we're playing serious catch-up. But this is the time to catch up, and we're going to. It's 4 o'clock, probably till 8 o'clock on Saturday, June 15th. You'll hear more from us about it. And one more thing, you may be getting emails from people you don't know, but it's Benzie County. It says Benzie County is the center. We have this way of reaching out just to specific townships and specific people, and our candidates will be working that system. So the people that are in Crystal Lake will be sending out stuff just to Crystal Lake folks, helping you, asking you to please get involved. I would like to tell you a little bit about our scholarship dinner success. It was very, very successful. We had very close to 100 people there. We had a problem with service that we will freely admit to. We identified exactly what the problem was. It will not happen again. And when we have it again in another year, and there's even more than people than we had this year, we're going to handle it. It'll be great. But we should tell you we raised over $5,000 doing this. There were some big donations that came in early. As I said, we had 100 people show up. The Cold Creek Inn wrote us a check for $1,000 based on
I can put my earphones in.
the dinners that they had. So all in all, we did very, very well, and it was a great time. It was really, really fun, and we look forward to doing it again next year. Z, who is not a Democrat, really loves this event and is very, very happy to work with us. It's kind of a, interfaith kind of activity there. I was looking for the word ecumenical, but there it is. Okay, great. And a couple more quick announcements. First of all, at 1 o'clock today.
I'm going to tell you more about the scholarships. Which is just to say that every year we have more students applying, which is wonderful. So this year we had 9 students apply from Benzie Central and 2 from Frankfurt, given that it's a much smaller school. But that's more applications than we've had. And so we're able to give out 4 $1,000 scholarships in total, and it's just wonderful. And it's a great way for when we award those scholarships for the school community, all their parents are there and everything, to hear who we are and that we're helping their kids. So that's all.
Thank you, Kira. That's great. Okay, so a couple things that are happening we want you to know about that are community events. One is happening right down the road here, 1 o'clock today. It's the grand opening of Platte River Park. And a whole bunch of people, including some dear friends of ours, have worked on this thing for more than 10 years. And it's finally open. And the ribbon cutting is at 1 o'clock today. It's a special day. And if you know Ingmar or Bill Ward or any other people who are so involved with it, please show up and thank them and be part of the festivities today at 1 o'clock. And the other thing, this just in, the collages and paper assemblages, did I say that right? Of lifelong Democrat and county commission candidate Michael Smith. Put your hand up, Mike. There he is. He's running in District 5, Homestead. Those will be up or on display now at L'Chaim Deli in Beulah, the one in Beulah. And there's a reception on the 25th. That's a Saturday, next Saturday. Oh, right, that makes sense. From 5 till 7 o'clock at L'Chaim, all right? 5 to 7 o'clock, Saturday, May 25th, the collages and paper assemblages of Michael Smith, our candidate. So there you go. All right, so there you go. Those are our announcements. How are we doing on time here? All right. Yes, she's up next. So next, we would like to welcome our county commissioner. Please give her a warm round of applause for her service. Karen Cunningham.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I will keep it short as usual. This is fresh off the press, and I looked online. Katie said it is online. It is the Benzie County's community impact that shows where money that went to broadband and the various concerns that the citizens identified in a survey a couple years ago. So all that information with childcare, local support, and it's a front and back. I did bring a few copies that are over there, but you can access it online and take a peek and see where all that is. So that's informational for you. We had a very busy BOC, and the one thing that I'm going to highlight is we have quite a few millages that are coming up, both times at either the August or the November. And the one that I'm getting the most phone calls, emails, communique with is the Headley Amendment. That one is they had a committee, and maybe if some of you went to a few of those meetings, they had, I believe, 3 or 4. I wasn't part of that committee. But that one is going to be on the August ballot, and they have come up with kind of, they put a 2-year time limit on it before they have to make a decision. So I made a motion, and it carried 100% by them. And the motion is that the Board of Commissioners adopts the resolution approving the ballot language to alter the duration of the general operating millage for the county township's intermediate school district, which would replace the indefinite status of the county operating millage. And that is for the Headley, and it's on August is when you will see it on the ballot. The second thing that most people have asked me about is NMC is scheduled to be on the November ballot. So, and most of the information that I've gotten from constituents has flipped from being pro for it to being against it. So, and that's from District 3. But other than that, that's a quick summary.
Karen, thank you very much.
I'll leave this with you.
Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about canvassing. As I said, a whole bunch of people showed up a couple weeks ago, all excited about going to door with our message. Mike, are you here? Thought I saw you come in. Yeah, oh, there you are. Would you like to come and talk about that, or would you like me to do that? Okay, come on up front. We'll hand you the microphone. But I'll just tell you, we're going to have a training on deep canvassing. And deep canvassing is teaching people to have normal, humane conversations on people's front steps. That's really what it's about. And it works. No, Mike, sit over here.
All right. I didn't know I had a chair.
You got your own chair, brother. Okay. So Mike's going to tell you a little bit about that. There's a training coming up for it. Go ahead, take it over. I'll shut up.
Okay. Yes, I'm very pleased that we have had a groundswell of people saying that they will canvass this year, and that doesn't usually happen, and we need more. I don't care how many we have, we need more. We had years where we only had a handful, and we kind of walked their legs off, and so we need as many legs as we can so we don't have to do that, and I think this year it looks like we'll have a good group. As Jim started to say, deep canvassing is very important, and it's a little different than just representing a candidate. You're trying to find out more about the constituents and what they think. And our first, I believe, group we're going to try to talk to are strong and leaning Democrats that don't always vote. And there are 750 in the county, somewhere in that didn't vote in the last 2 presidential elections. And so we're going to go just try to discuss the importance of voting and see if we can flip some of those people that probably will vote for us to get to the polls. Anything else? Okay, just one more thing. I always have one more thing, don't I? Yeah, I'm also work with the Benzie County Blue Tiger Democrats, and that's the community service group. And we have 2 sections of highway that we clean up, and we've had some people that have some health problems and can no longer do that. You know, you walk a mile or 2 and pick up trash, and, you know, it's actually fun. I like it. But we are behind our schedule this year. I tried to get it going, and nobody that had done it before was available. They were all either injured or out of town, and so the next one is in mid-July. And if any of you today could just tell me that you might be interested in doing that, it's kind of fun, you know, get out there in the sunshine. We try not to go when it's raining, but all right, thanks.
Thank you, Mike. And let's thank Mike for all of his work with Blue Tigers and with canvassing. When folks go out door to door, Mike's the one who puts together the map and the list of people that they're going to go talk to. So we are very, very happy to announce that a major talent in canvas in deep canvassing training is going to come up here from Detroit and spend a day with us on either Saturday or Sunday, June 1st or 2nd, to do a 3-4 hour training, includes lunch, on how to do this. And I think you'll find it very, very, very interesting. And we're going to call the folks that were at the canvassing meeting a couple weeks ago and give this information to them firsthand by phone and let them decide if they want it on Saturday or on Sunday. But you'll be seeing an email about this as well. And so kind of keep it in your head. We'll know in a couple days which day it's going to be. But this is our secret weapon, folks. This thing, they've got all kinds of statistics to show you how well this does work. So be prepared for that. Think about it. It's really just having conversations, not talking at people. And it makes a difference. It really does. So with that, we'll move right along. Is Lindsay in the house anywhere? Lindsay? She's
I am.
Oh, great,
Yep.
Lindsay. All right. Hi. How you doing? Go ahead there.
Hi.
You know what to do.
Good. Yeah.
Great.
So Barry Hahn, Jan Klemp, and I are organizing our pop-ups for this year. Our pop-ups are a tent and like a booth for the Benzie Dems, where we pass out information, just engage with voters and people in the county, let them know the Benzie Dems are strong. This year, since it's an election year, we'll have signs to pass out, more information on candidates. And it'd be also lovely to have some of the candidates join us at the pop-up so they can talk to voters as well. We are having a warm-up meeting this Thursday, May 23rd, at the headquarters at 5 o'clock. Jan Klemp and I have been making phone calls to people who are on a list of potential volunteers, but please put your name, email, and or phone number in the chat if you are interested in being on the pop-up volunteer list. Or you can show up to our warm-up on this Thursday. We can tell you more about it and start signing up for the events that we'll be doing around the county this summer and fall. We have 4 events so far that we'll be doing. Monday, June 17th, we'll be at the Thompsonville Summerfest. We did that last year. It was a fantastic time, engaged with a lot of voters from Thompsonville in that area. We'll be at the Beulah Art Fair on Saturday, July 6th. The Beulah Sidewalk Sale on Saturday, August 3rd. And on Tuesday, August 6th, we'll be at the Northwestern Michigan Fair at the Grand Traverse Democrats booth. We did this last year where we took over a booth to help them out. Last year, the Grand Traverse Republicans were not there. This year, apparently, they are having a booth. So we want to show up in force there, be able to hand out some of our literature about our candidates, and just engage with the public in that way. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put it in the chat for me or just show up on Thursday. I think that's it, Jim. Thank you.
That's great. What time is that thing on the 23rd?
At 5 o'clock.
Great. Great. Thank you, Lindsay, very, very much.
Thank you.
And just so you know, You may have heard a story about us getting kicked out of the Beulah Fair last summer. That led to one thing, led to another thing. They now have modified their policy and approach. They realized that all we were doing was exercising our right to free speech on public property, and they get that now, and so it's not a problem anymore, which is a good thing. And I'd like to thank Kira and Brad and a couple other folks like that, and particularly Deanne Lowell on the Village Council over in Beulah for helping us get this through and pass the problems. And so it's clear skies now, which is great. Okay, cool. Okay, one more very special guest. It's great to hear from him. We got in good contact when he ran for school board a couple years ago. He won, and he's on the school board in Benzie. And now he's going to talk to us about what the situation is at the Benzie Central School Board as we face another election. So would you please welcome Matt Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Sorry I'm not there in person, but yeah, it's hard to believe that it was 2 years ago I was in the position of considering running for school board, and now in my second year, halfway through it on the board, I truly have enjoyed it. You develop a deeper appreciation for the public school system in general, and certainly Benzie Central Schools. There really is a lot of good things going there, and thankfully we've got a really good superintendent. It kind of helps our job a little easier. So we've got our challenges, but no, it's been a good experience. I don't know if there's anything you wanted me to speak on specifically, or.
Yeah, could you talk about what the vacancies are that are coming up, and how you see the balance of the board in terms of being too liberal or too conservative or too sane or too insane? Just what it's like on the board.
All of the above.
Yeah, and what's coming up in November, how you view that vote.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so obviously on paper we're a nonpartisan organization or positions, but we all know it's not entirely the case. We do have, I know there's 2 spots that are open of the 7. I honestly don't know of the 2 firms that are coming to an end if they're running for re-election or not. They haven't voiced their decision at any board meeting. I would say of those terms that are ending, one leans a little to the right and one leans a little left. For the most part, I would say we've been able to put politics aside and really focus on what's best for the students. We've had a couple close votes on things from sex ed curriculum, and we're starting to look at English and literature curriculum for the secondary. Sparks some of the conversations that we've seen in the media about books and things, but thankfully we've been able to push forward. But you do worry that if 2 people got on the board with a hard agenda a different way, it could really swing the future of Benzie Central for a while. So it is important, and hopefully we find 2 good candidates and can really, the role for the board in my mind is they are the experts. I'm a golf pro by trade. I don't know what's best on the English curriculum, so I want to make sure that we support the teachers and the people that really put the work into it.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like being on the board for someone who might be thinking about running? What would you tell them to consider? What kind of a commitment does it take? And does it disrupt your life or add to your life? Just tell us about what it's like to run for office and be on the board so that people who are thinking about doing this, and we do encourage you all to think about this, what it would be like for them.
Sure. Yeah. So, on the surface, the school board meets once a month. It's the second Monday of every month. We meet Monday evenings, starting at 7 o'clock. Meetings last a couple hours. The one exception is in June. We have a second meeting because our budget is due at the end of June. So we meet first early June, and then again right at the end of the month, just to finalize our budget. And then we have a couple retreats, one in the winter and one in the summer. They call it a retreat, but it's just another meeting in the boardroom. And beyond that, it's just what depends on what committees you're on. I currently sit on a policy committee and a finance committee they kind of meet on a as needed basis. I also sit on the district impact team, which is just a weekly meeting of administrators and other key staff members. So I sit on that every Tuesday during the school year and just to report back. So it's obviously more than just those school board meetings once a month, but again, it's been really enjoyable being involved with something in the community, and not just for the sake of my own kids, but just kind of all the kids in Benzie Central schools and whatnot. So we don't get a lot of phone calls from people saying, "Boy, you guys are doing such a great job," and I thank you so much. But you really do appreciate what's going on, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and happy to answer any questions somebody has, or meet with somebody for coffee and talk more about it more in depth if they're feel so inclined.
We do have a question from one of our Zoom participants, and if anybody else has any other questions for Matt, please put them in the Zoom. Someone wants to know if you can discuss the new secondary principal position.
Yeah, so we had I'm trying to think, our assistant principal at the high school a year ago was kind of towards the end of his career. He wanted to get back in the classroom, and we had a need for a chemistry and math teacher. So he went back to the classroom this year for his last year, and he's retiring at the end of this year, and hired a new assistant principal, Nikki Torrey, who was a teacher at Onekama. And Nikki was great. We've really enjoyed her. But unfortunately, she just announced that she's accepted a job at Buckley. Coming from Onekama, a real small district. That's where her passion was, and wanted to be at a K-12 building. And so for the last few years, with Benzie Central, the high school and middle school are in the same building. So we've had a principal for the high school, middle school combined, and an assistant principal for the high school, middle school combined. I think there's been discussion that maybe the delegation of duties between the two schools is not as consistent. So there's talk, and I haven't seen the posting, but there's been talk that we might separate them. We'd have a principal of the high school and a principal of the middle school, as opposed to a principal and assistant to cover both. So hopefully that answers that question. But yeah, this just came about, and so we'll be looking for a secondary principal or assistant principal for the 24-25 school year.
Great, thanks, Matt. Does anybody have any questions for Matt in the room? Your school board is really important. When I was a reporter in Royal Oak, I would always interview all the school board candidates, and the first thing I would ask them is, why are you doing this? Because they go in with an idea, like Matt said, they have a particular agenda, but they're representing all the kids and all the teachers and all of us. So it's really critical, and it's a really important thing. So thank you, Matt, for doing this. We do have a question.
Hi, Matt. Bill Haggard, thank you for what you do. I was aware probably a year and a half ago or so of the beginnings of a formation of a Moms for Liberty group in the Lake Ann area, and saw some of their posts on Facebook related to some goals and such. Have you had any encounters with that group or any group like them, and how is that going?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I am aware last school year there was an individual trying to start a Moms for Liberty group. They started a private Facebook page that wouldn't let any teacher or administrator or board member be a part of. And I haven't heard if they were successful in forming a local chapter. And no, they have not been a part of any board meetings and have not raised any concerns. at meetings or certainly to me as a board member. This year has been much quieter on that front. So yeah, again, it was concerned last year, but seems to have fizzled out this year. I know the same person, there was a group last year in the state of Michigan that was encouraging parents to get their kids to opt out of sexual education and submitting formed letters to schools, which again, that's part of having a sex ed curriculum is they must have the opportunity to opt out if a parent doesn't feel comfortable with it. But they were really pushing for it but really received one of those letters. And so yeah, aware of it last year, but quiet this year so far.
Is this on? In case anybody doesn't know, Moms for Liberty are moms for the lack of liberty.
Not to put too fine of a point on it. Great. Well, Matt, thank you very, very much. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thanks, Jim, and thanks for letting me come on. If it's okay, I'll just share one last thing, just so everybody's aware. Benzie Central is coming up. We need to renew our operating millage. This will be on the August ballot, not the November one, but the August primary. Again, this is just a renewal for our operating. Nothing new, but just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Great, Matt. And I hope it's okay if we send people your way who might be interested in running for the school board so they can get more information from you.
Absolutely, yeah. Please, I'm available. I'll gladly meet for a coffee or whatever.
Okay. Okay, round of golf?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always up for that.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks, man, and have a good day. Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, good news for southeastern Michigan is bad news for us. Jill Biden, very much by surprise, showed up in Detroit, was announced late last night. Kyra Bolden is required to be there for it, so she's not going to be with us today. I'm very sorry to say that. We can reschedule for a month from now. But before we think about something else, I just want to say Supreme Court Michigan is very important. We have a 1-seat majority, which is Kyra Bolden, and she is running for re-election. It is not a partisan seat. So when you talk to your friends about voting straight Democratic, and you're all going to do that, right? Okay, when you do that, also add that you have to go to the nonpartisan ballot and select Kyra Bolden for Supreme Court Justice. There's another woman running for Supreme Court Justice who's also a Democrat, and if they both win, we'll have a 2-seat majority, which would just be great. But that's the thing to understand. It's nonpartisan. You got to go down to that ballot and check there, and you have to talk to your friends about that because most people are completely oblivious to what I just said. They have no idea. And Bill has something he wants to say.
I just had a question for you in what you just said. I thought at the canvassing meeting you were indicating that we had some independents that we wanted to support locally.
Yes.
And if you voted a straight ticket, you would not be able to get those folks in.
That's a great demonstration of the education we need to do about that. You can vote straight ticket in Michigan and then go down the ballot to somebody you want that's not on your straight ticket and vote for that instead. It doesn't invalidate the straight ticket vote. It just changes one of them. And if there's like nobody in that slot, which will probably be the case in Inland, you can check the independent box, which is what we want you to do, and your straight ticket will still stand. That's a complicated message, and we're going to have to work very, very hard in Inland County to get that message out. But we really want everybody to vote. If there was ever a time to vote straight ticket Democrat, this is the year. It really is. So we need to get that message out, and then in certain selected areas, talk to people about straight ticket and how you modify that.
Do we know who's running against Kyra Bolden?
I don't have the name. I don't even know if that information's out there. I don't even know if they've picked anybody yet with the state that party is in.
Patrick Quinlan here. I saw one of the meetings a couple of weeks ago. There was a ballot measure being discussed by a man, his name might be Strickland or something, that was a Republican move to stop wind and solar energy.
Yeah.
Talk about that, and I'd love to see that video separated out from the grand video of the Democrats so that it could be distributed, like on YouTube or other ways.
That's a great suggestion. We did talk about this quite extensively at our last meeting. In fact, we had Peter Sinclair here to explain the whole thing to us. If this is news to you, there's a, in quotes, local control petition going on out there that really what it's designed to do is stop wind and solar power development in its tracks in Michigan. That's what it's designed to do. It's not about local control. And if you see that petition, tell them off and don't sign it, okay? And Quinlan, that's a great idea. I'll talk with our tech people and see if we can get that down, compressed down to something. Peter Sinclair has some excellent presentations on this, and they need to get around, so we can help do that.
Yeah, and before Jim ends the meeting, there are a couple other announcements, brief announcements that people have sent in and asked that we share with you. Thank you. One is after you go to the Platte River ribbon cutting, the Darcy Library today in Beulah is having an open house from 2 to 4 to celebrate the refresh of their library. I understand they've done a fabulous job with redoing that library, so that's right down in Beulah. And then you can go across. Oh wait, no, it's from 2 they'll close. So well, you can't see Michael's stuff in the window anyway. So anyway. And the other thing is Jane Wild reminds everybody to mark your calendars for the July 4th parade. We're doing Frankfurt in the morning, Beulah in the afternoon. Bring your family, bring your friends. There's going to be a lot of things for people to do. Oh, Michael. But welcome to my world, people.
Are we having a break? Oh, yeah.
Yes, Jane and Holland have created a fabulous parade theme for us again this year. It's always going to be about democracy. We're going to be making a joyful noise, as Jane says, and we're just going to show people in the area that there are a lot of us who care deeply about our democracy, care deeply about voting rights, women's rights, civil rights, everything else good that we stand for, and that we're here, and we're your neighbors, we're your friends, and we like having a good, happy, safe time too.
That's great. Mike, did you want to say something?
Yes. As usual, I forgot to remind people to put their information in the chat if you're interested in canvassing, phone calling, or doing the highway cleanup. We do it 3 times a year, and so it's not a huge commitment, but it is important. So please let us know if you're interested in either of those in the chat. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mike. I was going to bring up the parade. I'm glad Jane beat me to it. I'll just say, to add to what she said, we need 85 people. We need 85 people. We got 85 different things for you to do. So show up. Your kids can do some of it. Your grandparents can do some of it. You can do some of it. If you're still walking, you can still do it. Okay? And please show up for both those fairs, for both those parades. More information later. But put it on your calendar now, and if you got family or friends coming for the 4th of July, you tell them they're in the parade. That's how we're celebrating 4th of July. That's
going to be fun.
Okay? Not running around drinking a lot of beer and flipping over ski-doos. You know, that's not our 4th of July. Ours is standing up for democracy. We want you all to be part of that. Okay? Okay, great. Who is Jane? Yes, Jane. Or not.
No, I think she.
Oh, I just said it's going to be a lot of fun. 85 people each parade. We're going to do it. Woo-hoo.
Woohoo! All right, quickly, Quinlan.
Quinlan at the parade last year. Basically, I felt the vehicles moved too fast for the walkers, and if you could slow down the whole parade, there'd be a chance to reach out to more of the great crowd that was there to watch it. And I just want to slow the parade down so that we can have more outreach.
Okay, well, maybe some of us should talk to the parade leaders about that. It was a lot of stop and go, as I remember it, but yeah, okay, interesting comment. That's cool. Anything else anybody else want to say? We're going to get out early today. Go blue. Yeah, go blue, really. Both blues. Okay, well, listen, thank you all. Please stay engaged. Please, we'll see you next month for our meeting on the 15th of June. Pete has something to say. Shout it because you're not in there.
Please take any leftover food.
Please, yeah. Yes, we've got some leftover food. Please bring it with you. Please hang around and eat it with us. We'll have a good time. So thank you all, and have a happy Saturday. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, I wish we could hear him singing.
I don't know why we can't. When we rehearsed it, we could.
I'll bet it's beautiful.
It is. It made me cry.
Yeah, I guess we lost it completely.
A note. But I don't know if
Come on, give us volume.
they're running it a different way this today. It's a really good one. Hey, Elizabeth?
Yeah, hon.
I want to talk to you more, see if maybe you and me and Jane and some others can't get together and talk about.
Yeah, have some coffee.
Yeah,
Something
what
like
you're
that.
experiencing. I think we err on the part of thinking these things aren't really happening.
Well, you just don't want to believe. I mean, we've seen
Can't imagine it. And it's like you said, these are people who otherwise you respect, and then they open
exactly.
their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hairdresser isn't having any of those people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's gay, and he was really, really, really hurt by all of this. He had clients that he thought were great people, and then they began to tell him why it was bad to be gay. And I mean, it's just something else for him.
Yeah, it's strange times. It's concerning. But I had a long conversation. Well, I went and met, especially with my clerk, to tell her what I thought we should do for these upcoming elections, because without she's Republican. She wanted to run as an independent, but she didn't get her paperwork in on time. Judy Van Meter. So, but she's not buying into it. There's a number of what I have to be heartened by is there are a few of them there that at the top that are not buying into it. There's just strange things going on, and I think, it just has to be addressed, and we have to be watchful, we have to be looking out, and as chairman, I finally stepped into the role this last election because I was a little uncomfortable with my first one, but I feel like I'm comfortable with telling people, no, that's not what it is. This is what you need to be doing. No, but we need educated, informed people educated about the elections